A heartbreaking loss at a home opener in Gillette Stadium. The Patriots fall to the Seahawks 23-20 in overtime. There's a lot to still be grateful for with the Patriots, but there's definitely a lot of work to be done. Mainly still on the offensive line. Plus, some injuries did allow a couple of players to have to be taken out, did not return to the game. But the real thing here was a blocked field goal that did result in losing by 3 to the Seattle Seahawks. But overall, the number one thing I want to point out here on the stat sheet to really emphasize how bad the pass blocking is for Jacoby Brissett. And I don't care if you want to say Drake May should be in. Number one, he shouldn't. And number two, even if Drake May was in, the pass blocking would be the same. Look at the difference here, all right? And we don't have Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf and Jackson Smith and Jabba, but we do have plenty of receivers. 15 for 27 completions on 149 yards to 33 for 44 on 327 yards. The Patriots have a pass blocking problem. But before we jump into everything else, let you guys know here on the injury update front. For Darian Lowe, he left the game in the second half and he was questionable to return in the fourth quarter. Obviously did not play. And what's very unfortunate is that we had Caden Wallace at left tackle for overtime. Thankfully, nothing resulted in that because the Patriots ended up punting it away. But here's why this is really big. Chuck Okorafor, which I will talk about in a video either later tonight or early tomorrow, Chuck Okorafor has told the Patriots he will not be returning. So Chuck Okorafor was not on the sideline here today, which means Verdarian Lowe was a starting left tackle, and he played well the entire game. But he got injured, and he did not return. So now we got to talk about left tackle moving forward. But before I hop into my instant reaction here, give me your one-word reaction to today's game. This was a huge game for the Patriots. This is not bad. Losing in overtime to the Seahawks, who, like you just saw in the passing yards, could have dominated us. And I'll be honest, this time last year, you give us this exact same game with the team the Patriots had last year, it'd be a blowout. It wouldn't even make it to overtime. There's a lot to be positive for moving forward for the New England Patriots. But let's talk about Jacoby Brissett, because once again, Jacoby Brissett has saved the Patriots multiple times on offense. He avoids sacks relentlessly. He knows how to deal with pressure, how to handle it, how to scramble. And he took 2 big hits, where he got off the field very grimacing. He had a grimace, and he walked off the field, one with his shoulder, one with his right calf/knee. We'll monitor that moving forward. But here is why the pass blocking is so bad, is that he is better than 149 yards. We couldn't get anything going in the second half primarily. Hunter Henry was the bright spot when it came to the first half. That is how the Patriots gained as many yards as they did. But after that, it kind of was just a ground and pound game. And I got to give a shout out here to Antonio Gibson. The reason why the Patriots picked up a player like Antonio Gibson in the offseason was for this exact reason. Rhamondre Stevenson did not have to play every single drive of the entire game. They allowed Antonio Gibson to drive periodically throughout this game, which gave Stevenson a recharge, gave Stevenson a moment to rest, but also allowed the defense to try and tackle somebody else. And Gibson popped off, man. His longest being 45 yards. But as you can see, Rhamondre Stevenson, which I said I thought he would have 89 rushing yards today, and happened to be 81. 21 carries. He had 25 carries last week. You're still really relying on the run game, which is not bad, but defenses like the Seahawks will catch on. And that's exactly what they did. But a huge shout out to Rhamondre Stevenson. He's still that man. He's still ground and pounds. He still gives it his all the way until the fourth quarter. And I saw less smash mouth football than I wanted, but it's still there. And overall, when you're looking at the leading receivers here, shout out Jalen Polk. His first NFL touchdown was the first touchdown the Patriots scored the ball game. But Hunter Henry was your top target. Once again, none for Pop Douglas. You had one good snag there by KJ Osborne in the fourth quarter in overtime primarily. But they couldn't get anything in the air in overtime, which forced a punt. Do I think they should have punted it away on 4th and 1? Maybe not. Maybe not with 2 ground and pound guys like Antonio Gibson and Rhamondre Stevenson. But Gerard Mayo's new. He's a first-year head coach, and there were some questionable play calls throughout the game for sure. But nonetheless, Hunter Henry did all of this in the first half. That can't happen again. that is where the Patriots really started to shoot themselves in the foot. But we do have more to talk about here in this whirlwind of a season opener at Gillette Stadium. But before we do that, let me tell you real quick about our sponsor here on Patriots Today by Chat Sports. I'm talking about GameTime. If you guys are looking for the best way to get tickets to any event, I'm talking NFL, NBA, college football, MLB, comedy, theater, use GameTime. I use GameTime for any tickets I could possibly want. Why? Because they have three things that make it so much better than anything else out there. They have lowest price guarantee, they have a last-minute ticket deals, and you can see the views from your seats. You can get a nice panoramic view from your seat in the app before you buy. Plus, with the lowest price guaranteed, GameTime will credit you 110% of the difference if it's not the lowest price guaranteed. And your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. And also, just want to point this out here. They have all-in pricing, which means this shows you the total up front. There are no surprise fees at checkout. I hate surprise fees. It makes me not even want to go. So the fact that GameTime tells you everything for real straight up, I mean, have I not given you enough reasons to download the GameTime app right now, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download GameTime today. What time is it? Game time. I mean, the Seahawks offense really kind of had their way. In the first half, Patriots defense still looked dominant. You saw a lot of Kyle Duggar, a lot of Jabril Peppers, a lot of Christian Gonzalez, even some Jawan Bentley before he went out. But 19 carries for 46 yards was huge. Keeping them under 100 yards was phenomenal because they had no Kenneth Walker. But Charbonnet turned out to be more of a wheel route guy anyways. He had 14 carries for 38 yards, but he really was a top target in the receiving game for Geno Smith. Here's what he did in the receiving game. 5 receptions, 31 yards. When he rushed, he caught more yards than he did rushing. So I think ultimately using him as a wheel route guy really threw off our defense in multiple scenarios. They were ready for man, but then Geno Smith just did what he does. 327 yards, 33 for 44. I mean, Geno Smith looked great in the pocket today despite getting pressured numerous times, despite getting 3 sacks on him. Geno Smith just looked like he had a better offensive line in front of him. DK Metcalf, I mean, week 1, he was non-existent. Week 2, he made his presence known. Not to mention that 56 long was that first touchdown of the game for the Seattle Seahawks. Obviously, his top receiver. 10 receptions, 129 yards. And then you have Jackson Smith, 117 yards. It's going to be tough to win a ball game when you've got 2 receivers over 100 yards and you have nobody over 100 yards except for Hunter Henry for the Patriots. So I want you to grade the Patriots versus the Seahawks. A, B, C, D, or F. I'm going to give it a C-, honestly, because the defense looks great in the first half, but in the second half, they just kind of fell apart, especially in overtime. I didn't see any spark. I didn't see any Kyle Duggar, Jabril Peppers type of big plays in the second half. I truly think that the defense kind of ran out of gas. And it makes sense, you know. I mean, the Patriots offense definitely ran out of gas, especially in the passing game. I think there's still an issue with the Patriots pass rush without Christian Barmore, without Matthew Judon, that needs to be addressed. And on the other side of the ball, I do think the pass blocking is something that is going to haunt the Patriots offense moving forward unless they go out and get some help. Because I just do not know if the Patriots have the depth chart this year to keep moving the way they've been moving with the offensive line. But the Patriots are now 1-1. You want them to be undefeated heading into week 3, but they do have a big-time, primetime matchup on Thursday night going up against the Jets. Nonetheless, this could have been a lot worse, and I will take the overtime loss over a blow any day. 23-20 is your final score. Patriots have a lot to work on, but that's why you guys subscribe to Patriots Today by Chat Sports. Anything and everything on your New England Patriots, I'm going to have it for you right here. So all you guys have to do is hit that sub button for me.